Well, let's visit a little bit this morning about calving. I'm in Arkansas. It's March 13th, 14th, somewhere middle of March. And last night we had us a little storm. And we're calving. And so everything's all right. I checked them before dark and had a couple of calves right before dark. We've been feeding in the afternoon, which is a nice thing, and most of our calves have been born right before dark or in the late afternoon or first thing in the morning. Nothing in the middle of the night so far, too much. So that's nice. But the thing I think about when you're calving, and of course everybody's got their own situation, but I guess the more facts you get, the better off you are for making decisions. So I listened to a fella, Dick Diven, he was a nutritionist, and he was all about calving in sync with Mother Nature. And one of his big reasons was with matching the forage growth. And I know that doesn't work for everybody. Some people need to, but here's the deal. If we're calving, so this I got a calf down here, I'll show you. He was born last night, and his mother was at 100 degrees, we'll say, plus inside her body. When he flopped out of her body, hit the cold hard ground, the temperature was about, it was probably 35 at that time. And then this morning it was about 28 when I got up. So these calves go from a real warm environment to a real cold environment. And if they don't have a pretty good mother licking them off and getting them dried off, there's that little baby down there in the brush. And I'll just leave Mama alone. She was born last night, before dark. I checked him, and he'd just been born and was getting up to suck. So they come out of 100 degrees and come to 30 degrees with no winter coat. His mother has some hair on her and some fat cover, hopefully. And so she can take this cold, and that's the big advantage. And then that calf, he needs to get up and get some colostrum in his belly, and that kicks in his immune system. And this is another one that was born last night. He's looking good. He's standing up sucking this morning. He's cold, but the thing about the immune system is, so the way I was explained as we ride along here, the way it's explained to me, my hand's getting cold. I'm gonna switch hands here. And when you have conception, you have one cell and they become to two. And then you have 4, and then you have 8, and then you have 16 and 32, and then you have exponential growth. Oops, these cows they take my dogs pretty good as long as they stay out. So you have exponential growth until 9 months when you have birth. And then that growth slows way down. The only thing that really keeps going with that exponential growth from conception after conception to birth is hair and hoof growth, internal organ growth, and skin growth and all that. But the main thing that really goes at that time is the immune system. So once they get colostrum, all that energy and all that exponential growth goes to immune system development. So my thoughts are, from what I've learned, what I think is any disruption, any stress put on that calf makes it harder for the immune system to develop. If they don't have the proper nutrition, the proper environment, they have too much stress, then that immune system is suppressed in its growth, and that exponential growth isn't as good. So you have a calf at this cold temperature. Well, now he's struggled a little bit, and things are going to warm up today, so it'll be good. But if he has continued, minus degree temperatures and cold and struggle and being moved too much, and well, that immune system is really compromised in its ability to develop. And so as we look at our world of livestock, and we see that we have better and better drugs to treat sickness and to prevent disease, yet we're having more and more sicknesses in our feed yards and places that we try to get calves to grow I wonder if it couldn't come back to some of this, where we're all struggling because of whatever reason to get these big calves, and we're calving and we're putting stress on these calves when their immune system is developing. So I've calved a lot of places at different times, and when I first went to work at some outfits, they all calved in a barn and through a shed, and man, that's a lot of work and a lot of stress on the calves, and you got to do it though. If you're going to calve at minus 20 to below, you better have a shed and heat and all kinds of things, and that's just the way it is. Or you can go on the other place, the other side, with the buck and bull cows and the things we had around our place. I would calve in May and June on green grass, and the cow had great nutrition, and that was the perfect situation for me. It might not be for you, but for me it was. And that's what I think is the best for the cow and Mother Nature, and for the human. Silver, get away. But those are all things you got to consider. But I really believe the immune system development is very important to consider. And as I look out across this beautiful Arkansas morning, the sun's going to come up here pretty quick, and it's going to warm up, and these cows are going to feel good. But they're set back a little bit, some of these young, those two that were born last night. So just things to think about and ponder on your deal. But you know, I was at I'll ride up and check my pairs now. I was up at NCBA a few weeks ago, and we were discussing our stockmanship and stewardship tour, what's coming up this year. And we had somebody come in and give us a presentation on sustainability and what the consumer thinks. And it always comes back to animal welfare. That's what sustainability is. A lot of people is animal welfare. So when I look at this, and you know, we decide when to put the bulls in. And if you put the bull in to calve in January and it's going to be 20 below, and you don't have adequate shelter, and you don't take care of your animals, and they have a calf at minus 20 or minus 30, and that calf loses his ears, well, to me, that's cruelty to animals. You didn't take care of him and provide what he needed for what the situation you put that calf in. And so, to me, sustainability, cruelty to animals, all those things, that's something to think about as well. So if you're going to do those things, you better have the facilities to take care of them, the manpower and the willpower to go do it. So just some thoughts. Don't want to make anybody mad. Just trying to give you something to think about. But it's a beautiful morning. Riding a nice colt. Got some nice cows to take care of, and I don't know how to get any better than that.